I'm wifey, baby mama. No drama, no drama. I'm baby mama, your wifey. No drama, no drama. We're family, 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 family. Yes.
Hey, I'm Sean,
Hi, and I'm Shannon.
and we're the host of Wifey and Baby Mama. Happy Thursday, family, and happy Thursday, Shannon.
Happy Thursday, Sean.
Welcome to episode 6 of season 5, my people. As always, we are grateful that you are tuned in to spend yet another Thursday with us, and it's one of our better Thursdays, I might add. And can
Yeah.
anybody guess why? All right,
Tell us
nobody want to guess?
why.
Okay,
Tell
well,
us why.
all right, Shannon, you're just going to drag it out of me. Okay, we have a guest tonight. Yay.
Yeah, one
Yes,
of
we have
our
a guest
favorites.
tonight. One of our
Yes, one of our favorites.
That's right, Shannon. One of our favorites, not just any guest, our honorary
Mhm.
hostess with the mostest is back, y'all. Here to help us
Yes.
break down tonight's topic title. Who do I run to? Is our girl, the entrepreneurial guru herself, the Miss Tamara Zantell. You
Yeah.
ready for the ride, baby mama?
Ready.
You know she always got something deep and profound to drop on us. So for all of our
Mhm.
A1s from day ones out there, we know you know my girl. And she's assigned she's been assigned to be in my life since I was like a teenager, right? And she's graced Shannon and I on this show on a few occasions, you know. But for our new family that was steady joining while we were off season, Miss Tamara will tell you about herself because as we break down tonight's topic, you will understand how much more profound and amazing she is. So I will digress. Mrs. Tamara, introduce yourself to the peeps.
Hey, everyone. My name is Tamara Zantell. I am the mom of 5, Nana to 6. I can't believe it sometimes when I say it.
Wow.
I'm also the
Mhm.
founder of Raising a Mogul, and I have an agency that is called Legacy Brand Creators. And, it's pretty simple. I'm a former corporate, I like to call myself a corporate dropout. I had to go. And the reason I had to go is because I helped my 9-year-old daughter turn her kitchen table hobby, which happened to be a lip balm business, a lip balm experiment, I'll say, into $1 million skincare brand it is today. So I mentor families and kidpreneurs across the globe, showing them how to build legacy businesses without losing the heart of their home. I'm all about family, authenticity, and creating systems that let us thrive together. That's me.
Mhm. That's awesome.
So y'all see why she fits so well with wifey and baby mama. All about
Mhm.
family, y'all. That's our theme here. All about family, love, life, getting it done. So welcome back, Tamara.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes,
All
we
right,
are
Shannon, you
so
ready to
happy,
get
so
down to
happy to
it?
have you. Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, girlfriend, let's go. Tonight's topic, who do I run to, is probably more relatable than most of us want to admit, right? It's referring to those of us who are everything to everybody. But we have to get out the flashlights, the magnifying glasses, and the bullhorns when we need assistance with the smallest of things. And then another fun
Mhm.
fact, like I said, me and Tamara go way back, guys. So if y'all hear me refer to her as T, don't be alarmed. Like that's just her childhood nickname. So to me, we go back like 4 flats on the Cadillac, okay? So she's been here through most of my journey, and I've been through most of hers. So booking her for tonight's episode, Shannon, went more like, hey, come run this with us. Not, do you think this is something you can relate to? Because I know firsthand she can. Okay.
That's all
I
right.
know I know what she does for the community. I know what she does for her family, for the businesses, and all that. But what I wanted to bring you here to discuss, T, is who do you run to when you need to release
Mm,
or unwind? Or do you find it hard to admit that, hey, I'm out of gas? Because you know everyone depends on you. That's what I want to break down with you
Mm.
here tonight.
I'm here for it. I love it. I'm here for it. You want me to answer that question right now?
I would like for you to answer the question, ma'am. See, now we
So,
can't call you honorary
well,
guest when you don't know how we get down. First question is
listen.
always yours. We have manners on this show,
Wait,
ma'am.
because that was 2 questions. It was like, who do you run
Right.
to?
So,
And then it was like,
yeah.
am I afraid to
yeah,
admit? So I'm like,
yeah,
which
All
one
right.
you
yeah.
want?
So let's All right, so let's go with A. Let's go with A.
Who do I run
Who do
to
you
right
run
now?
to when you unwind? Yeah, when I'm sorry, when you need to release or unwind, who do you run to?
Right now, my first stop is me. Is me. I need to
Mm.
sit it with
Wow.
me. And that's where my prayer time happens, my meditation,
Mm,
my recentering, my self check, right? My self awareness. That's where
Mhm.
it all happens.
mm,
It used to be external, outside of me, right? But as I've gotten, to this big old age, I have realized
mm-hmm.
that I'm the one that can hold me down. I have amazing friends, clearly, right? Clearly. You just said we've been friends forever, ever. But forever, ever. But I want to be super intentional and I want to be I feel like, for so long in so many parts of my life, I've been everything for everybody. It's time for me to
Mm,
be
mm,
everything for
mm.
me. So I'm
That's
running to
all right.
me. I'm running inward so I can make sure that I have everything I need to show up outward.
Now,
Wow, I
Shannon,
totally get that. I
I was
totally
about to
get
ask, could you
that.
give me your take on it?
Yeah, yeah. Um, for I guess for years, I guess because I am such an introvert, that has always been I probably my MO. And then, the times where I have run to other people, it usually comes back to bite you in the butt,
Mm,
because
Mm,
um they're either not going to give you what you think you need from them, or um it sounds good at that moment, and then later on it comes back through somebody else, things like that. So yeah, turning to yourself and to God is it resonates with me when you say that, because
that's
yeah,
what
you
that
need outside
your help
people,
is found
but
within. Most of the time, your help is found
yeah,
within. Is I guess you.
yeah.
Now, so she said it was a two-part question. It kind of was. I said, do you find it hard to
Mhm.
admit that I'm out of gas? Because everyone
Mhm.
depends on you. That's the
mhm,
title of the show. Who can I run to? Because everything falls. All the weight drops on me. So it's times when I have those intimate battles, even when I want to go outside, Shannon, like you said, I don't want to be judged because I'm it,
Yeah,
right? So do I get to
yeah.
say that I'm tired? I
mhm,
struggle with
Mm.
that sometimes. I struggle with sharing because I don't want to appear weak. Like, mama, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't have your S on your chest today, mama? Because I've been a single
Mm.
mother. I'm married. I've been married 3 times, but it's a lot of that I spent as a single mom, and it was me, and I couldn't afford the shower was the only place I didn't get to be superwoman. And like you said, Shannon, if you do tell someone, then you got to worry about hearing it again. So those are the times when I'm thankful for my relationship with people like you two. Because
mhm.
for me,
Yeah.
it is not always a matter of if I can get an ear to listen. I mean, you can just about get any busybody to take all your business in, right? But
Right,
we have to be
right.
Absolutely.
careful who we run it to. We got to be
Yes.
careful who we run that to, especially our intimate things.
Yeah, I love that. You bring up an excellent point. I think it's important that as we what I like to look at it as like our personal rescue team, right? And first of all, there's
Mhm.
vulnerability in thinking we have to be rescued, right? Or we need a moment.
Yeah.
Like you said, are you
Mhm.
afraid to admit or are we
Mhm.
embarrassed to admit? Because we have
Mhm.
been taught that that equals weakness. So first,
Yep.
we have to stop judging ourselves and realize, you know what? No, it's just the truth. It is what it is. I don't need to hold it real tight. It's just mama's tired and I need to
That's it.
rejuvenate, right? But many of us have been in situations where we were afraid to admit that because it meant weakness, or it meant that people would pull away, or it meant that I'm not capable, or I'm not worthy. That's all these I call it head trash, right? We make up these stories when really, if we take a nap, when we wake up, world is still spinning.
Still
Things
going.
are still the
Yeah.
way they are. So when we
Mhm.
think about our personal rescue team, those layers of support, family, friends. I remember a time in my life when I felt so alone in my single parenting journey. I had to hire help. I
Mm.
paid for
Wow.
that respite, and I remember my family thinking I had lost it. My mother was like, "Oh, oh, no." As a Black woman, you don't have no ain't nobody else coming up in here. And I was like, they might not come to your house, but they coming to my house because I need help
That's
with all three of these kids.
hilarious.
Yes,
That's hilarious.
I needed to give myself permission, write myself a permission slip to say, look, how are you going to do it all? Sometimes you sit down and you're
Yeah.
like, who can I run to? Who's going to support me? You know what? Let me
Mm-hmm.
see who else out here. Let me Google this. Who else can help me with the lawn?
Who has tapped into this and has found a need? Who has found an answer to this need? Because guess what? I have found y'all opening all of my businesses. These 100 I opened in the last 2 years. It's somebody that's doing something for every call. It's somebody that's addressing these needs out here. I'm
Right.
like, y'all, let me, and I know y'all about to laugh at me, but it's okay. It's fine. Because Shannon don't know half the black movies I tell her about. So I'm going to tell y'all that I have discovered Instacart and it has changed my life, okay? And I know it's
Girl,
been around for years.
girl,
It has
Oh.
literally changed my life, okay?
girl, it's like I don't go to the grocery store. What do you mean?
Right, right. Yeah.
I did. And you know what? I thought that as a mom, you watched your grandmother's. First of all, my great grandmother went in the field and picked her dinner. Let's start with that. We didn't even go to the
Oh
store. They went in the
yeah.
field, okay?
Yeah.
Then
Right.
we got grandma who will buy it off the truck from the guy who went to the field to pick the peas. So she bought the dinner off the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your mama who went to the store, so she grocery shop. And here my week tale is Instacart. So what?
Yeah.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
struggle with that. I struggle with that. Like, am I losing my womanhood and my place in life to not go to the grocery store? But listen, you can't do it all. We just can't.
Right.
No, and our lives look
Mm-hmm.
So
different. Our lives look different, right? So I
it
talked about
did.
this a little bit on social at some point when I said like we are the first. Some of us this is our first. We're the first line of defense. We're the first generation, the first in the bloodline to be able to live this life the way we're living it, right? To be able
Mm-hmm.
to open or start and launch those 100 businesses, right? Not to say that their
Yep,
life was
Right.
easy. It just looks different. So as
that's a
we
Mm-hmm.
fact.
evolved, everything should evolve. We should not keep the same
That's
old
it.
patterns and old ways while trying to do a new thing. It doesn't make any sense.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to shop at Wegmans while I'm at the light. I can be putting my stuff in the cart and drive right past that store because I am.
It's called
Because I got to
advancement
come
and
home record.
technology.
Because I
Thank
got to
you.
come home record this podcast because my people waiting on me. Okay, so I'm good
Right.
That's
with that.
right. Yeah.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you, Shannon, do you feel that? Are
Well,
you still
yeah.
old school? She
No,
said, yeah.
you know, I do everything. I do the Uber Eats, I do the DoorDash, I do the Instacart, all that.
No
I love
shame in
it.
your game. I
No
love it.
shame. No shame.
So let me direct this question to both of you to jump on it as you will. Have you guys ever experienced, though, back to our who do I run to, being 10 toes down with people, like always having their back, like family, spouses, friends, that this can apply to anyone. But when it's your turn, they're busy.
Mm.
It's a long sigh. It's always an excuse. But they'll turn right around in the next breath and ask you again when they need something. Baby, let me tell y'all how long my block and delete list done got. It's longer than my contact list, okay? Cause play with your mama. I promise you, I'm tired of it. So
Not
have you guys reached that point?
wait, not play with your mama. I'm just
Play
like
with your mama.
absolutely yes. Yes, and both, all of it. I have gotten to that point. And one of the things I'm working on, and I'm just again transparency because that's all I got, is I'm trying to sit in that, keep those boundaries, or as I like to call them, bumpers up, um, without being hard about it. Right. So that's a whole
Mm.
nother lesson. It's like, how do I maintain myself, my sense of self, protect myself, keep my boundaries, and still be real soft and cute with it. Right. So whereas before I used to get angry at people, like be like, I'm about to
Mm-hmm.
tell you how I feel. It's like, oh, you don't get
Yep.
to do all of that.
I went through that phase, Shannon, about 28 years.
Yes. Now I'm just like, the answer is no, because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work for
Right.
me. I'm unavailable or not anymore. Or yes, that was then, but this is now. Or I changed my mind. Period.
Yeah.
It's
Period.
just that
What
simple.
about you, Shannon?
Yeah. So a couple of things there. Um, so when it comes to, people that I know, I can go to. Of course, you learn that over years, and sometimes it takes a lot of years. And
I
as
say
you
about
get
28.
older, Yeah, and as you get older, of course, you start losing some folks. Um,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, Laverne, my girl from I've known since 3 years old. She's had a stroke and
Mm,
she hasn't come back to herself. And that was the person that could always pull me through anything. When I tell you anything, losing my father,
Wow.
me having a
mm,
stroke, all of the things that brought me down in life, she was there to pick me up. Now she's not
Mm.
here for that. I can call you, Sean, but you can't come in my living room and dance for me the way Laverne
That's
would
because
do.
right. Well,
You
let me
know?
tell you. Give me about 6 months to get this private jet, baby, and I'm on the way. But okay.
I'm
Yeah,
joking.
right
I'm
now
joking.
I can't.
But
No, I'm
Laverne.
just teasing you.
Laverne.
I'm
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
teasing you.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
gonna pick you up, and I loved
Yeah,
her
she
for that,
always
you
did.
know?
Yeah, yeah, because you know how she is. She'll get up and
And when I
do
first
whatever to
met her,
make
let
you
me tell
laugh.
you, she was sure to
Uh-huh.
let me know, that she was your best friend. So I'm trying to see
Uh-huh.
beside your, but she gave me the once over. She's like, oh, so and then at the end
But
of the
she
night, Michi
loves
was
you.
like,
Yeah.
at the end of the night, Michi was like, okay, she said you cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah,
okay, okay. Well, I passed the test, but
yeah.
I mean, I really respect her for that because
Right.
vice versa. If
Yeah.
Tamara meets you for the first, when she did meet you for the first time, oh, that's his baby mama. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me check the
Right.
vibe. Let me make sure it's what you say
yep.
it is.
Vibe
That's
check.
what
Yep.
friends are
Yep.
for. That's
That's
what friends are
right.
for.
That's
So
right.
I
Yes.
totally
Yeah.
get it. And you know what? We
Yeah.
are still believing God. We still believing God that Vern's
Exactly.
gonna
We
pop back
do.
to who
We
he
do.
has the last say so. But I totally
Hmm.
get what you're saying. Now that she's gone, that looks
Yeah.
totally different from you, and
It
Mhm.
I totally
does.
understand. But
Yeah.
that's nature, that's life, that's what happens.
Mm.
That's not by choice. It's those people by choice that I'm referring to, like
Right. Right.
that constantly want to, can I. The givers,
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the takers, they have
Takers.
no
Yeah.
boundaries. So the givers have to set the boundaries. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
takers have
Absolutely.
Yeah.
no boundaries.
And guess what?
Exactly.
When you release those people that are sucking life out of you, the time, the energy, the
Hmm.
resources, and they're not making any deposits, you actually attract more people that you're in alignment with. Right?
Talk
So you
about
you're
it.
open to healthier relationships and you're like, "Wow, I went
Mm.
to brunch and didn't nobody
Hmm.
piss me off."
Yeah.
Like ain't nobody, like I didn't get any annoying texts this week, but you got plenty. But it's the caliber of the humans that you're now connected to because
Mm.
you are in a much lighter, open, willing space as opposed to looking at the phone ring or a text come through and you're like, no,
Oh
I already
Yeah.
know
God,
what you are."
you
See?
see
Yeah.
their name and be like, oh my
Oh, hell no.
goodness. It
Right.
just changed your whole day.
Right.
So
Right.
I saw this saying that I like to share. You get tired of crossing oceans for people who wouldn't jump across a puddle for you. You
Mm.
Mm.
know, I read that quote on social media one day, Shannon, and it changed my life. Just like you said, Tamara, I sat there and I digested that thing. And I'm telling you, the game was over. Like a whole new light was lit in me. Like, this is it. This is what I'm saying. Like, F them kids, they daddies, they grandparents, the jobs, they demand you to, every 6 months they want a new level from you. We need you to up, but this pay scale been the same for 5 years.
5
It
years.
was all inclusive. Play with your mama. When I read that, I was done.
Yeah.
So I think my
Mm.
skin got lighter, y'all. I was so refreshed. I think
I
I got
love
a shade
Well,
brighter.
you're so stupid. But what about, wait a minute. So for me, a lot of times I feel guilty. Neither
Mm.
one of you have ever felt guilt about
I'm
not
telling
being
you,
there,
we
because that's the thing
Shannon,
that keeps me up sometimes at night. If I do try
get
to put
yourself.
my foot down and say, okay,
I'm going.
you've never done anything
Okay.
for me, so I'm not going to do anything for you, the guilt just wears me
I
out sometimes. So
It
Yeah.
that
does,
keeps
but let me
me
tell you
doing
what.
and giving
I'm gonna
and doing
text
the
you this
stuff.
quote. I'm gonna text you this quote every night until your life changed. I'm telling you, I got more light.
Okay.
I got light skin when this happened. I'm gonna text you this quote every single morning, Shannon, because you gotta
Okay.
stop. Because you know what I found? The only people I didn't even care about the kids, the daddies. No, no, I'm sorry, the kids, daddies or the grandmamas or the mamas. My mama. The only person that concerned me that used to get me was the doggone kids. Remember I told you about the going
Um,
to the 3 restaurants because I
yeah,
don't want my
yeah.
kids to be hungry.
Mhm.
Man, listen here. Y'all eating this KFC or what? Okay, y'all. Okay, go make a peanut butter jelly. Good night. I'm going. I'm not going to KFC, McDonald's, and Burger King. Not happening anymore. When that changed, I'm telling y'all, my life got better. So even my own children, they were the only ones that helped me to the fire for a little while. I would feel terrible. Mom, can you take us skating? Excuse me, we just drove past the skating rink. I want to come home and put some purple socks on. Well,
Mm-mm.
guess who ain't going
Mm-mm.
skating tonight? Sis.
Yeah.
And they look at me like, when it started, they were looking at me like, what? Where's this alien? Where's our mother? Because they're so
Right.
used to it. So Shannon, you
Yeah.
Yeah.
gotta say no.
You
You
have
gotta
to.
say
I
no,
mean, and the
sweetheart.
thing is, sometimes in the moment, it feels like the hardest thing in the world, that guilt,
Mm,
it's overwhelming because we're so conditioned to doing it a different way. We're
That's
conditioned
it.
to sacrificing ourselves, our time, our energy, everything for everybody else. It's time you have to build, it's like a muscle, right? So it's building a new muscle, building new
mhm.
habits, and setting those boundaries is the only way you're going to experience the freedom that you actually deserve. It's the only way. Right? Because if you're the one carrying
Wow.
it, like I talk about this all the
Mhm.
time, like strong women, we don't think that we need scaffolding. Like we need people to hold us up too. Especially we're trained and we're conditioned to hold everybody else's dreams. And then when it comes to
Yeah.
our own, we're just like, oh, forget it. Forget it.
Well, I don't
And
have
it's
Wow.
like,
time to do
no.
mine. I don't have time to make my own lunch because I was busy making everybody else's,
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
No.
you
Mhm.
starve.
Yep.
So I'll segue to the last point that I want to make here before we jump to transition. Those people you're describing tomorrow are the last people I want to give a shout out to. Y'all follow me. The people that are the people that are the people you can run to. I mean,
Yeah.
having the you
Mm,
two, it keeps me sane, right? It takes a strong kind of person to talk someone off a ledge when they're standing on one themselves. I send that quote, right? And I understand
mm,
what that means. But that's the kind of people we are. Your life is defined by your circle, and mine is pretty dope. So I appreciate
Mhm.
both of you. And
um,
it feels like, don't ever let me, overstep. Sometimes you two may ask me something. It's not a no because I don't want to. It's a no because I didn't realize I promised 17 other things. I can call tomorrow on a
mhm.
whim and be like, hey, I'm going on the news tomorrow morning. I couldn't write out my I
You say
couldn't
that
write
like
out
it
my
happened before.
I couldn't write out my media blast because they called me into a trial that wasn't mine. She's like, girl, bye. Send me what you need. And then in 10, 15 minutes, it's back. But she could have asked me last week, hey, could you, take one of my kids to, and I'm like, tomorrow I can't because my kid has band. She don't say to me, well, no, she ain't got to worry about that no more. It's times when
Right,
people like
right,
us just can't do it, is what I'm saying.
It's
right.
So
true.
if we
Yeah.
can't ever do it, we just can't do it. But it's
Mhm.
not because that's not who we are. Because I'm telling y'all, I have held umbrella plenty of times on somebody else while I got really wet myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I definitely think it's important to honor those people that are there for you, and
Yep.
also and that's a part of honoring ourselves is maintaining and pouring into those relationships and giving ourselves the break and the freedom that comes along with accepting that help, because that's a whole nother piece of it. You know what I mean? And we need to
Mhm.
Absolutely.
understand that help isn't a handout, right? Sometimes it's just a handoff so that we can keep the legacy and the dream moving. So
Yeah.
it's really comes down to it's bigger than us. If we say we want something and we're trying to bring our family through something, or we're really trying to do something impactful in the world, there's no way we can do it alone. So our
Nope.
team, our circle, all the people that we that contribute in the most powerful ways, even if I don't talk to you every day, we honor you, and I'm
That's
grateful
Mm.
right.
for those moments and those people.
Well, audience, I said that to make that point. If you have those people like we are to each other, Shannon, Tamara, and I, you honor those people too. Just like you block and delete them other ones, you honor and just send a text that says, hey, I love you. Thank you so much. Hey, whatever. It's the little things. Send them a coffee on that DoorDash and Uber, Uber Eats that Shannon loves so much. Just send them. I
Yes.
got a friend, Brittany in Alabama, who does little stuff like that. She sent me $6 one day and was like, hey, get you a coffee. I'm like, kidding me? She's a church member of mine, and I haven't lived there in 10 years. But she watches
Oh.
me. She says, I don't know when you sleep. I
Mm,
always see you on social media doing something.
I
Give you
know
a
that's
coffee
right.
today and stay alert. Those are the kind of people you want to water, audience. That was my last point in making that point about make sure you take care of the people. Don't just focus on the bad people. Take care of the good people that are in your life too. So, do any of you ladies have another point you want to bring before we wrap up?
I have something. I want to for all the listeners, everyone that this episode is going to bless. I want you to think about the last time, Mama, when was the last time you asked for specific help? I want you to think about that, right? We're talking about, that freedom of leaning on other people and having people in your corner and honoring those people that help you. But I really want you to think about sometimes our help might not feel like it's coming because we're not asking for it specifically enough. So instead of saying, hey, yeah, keep me in your prayers, that's great. But it could be like, hey, I need you to, stop by my house and walk the dog. Right. I need you to
Mhm.
pick my
Mm-hmm.
son up. Like, ask for what
Mm-hmm.
you need, guilt free. Ask for what you need. If you have the people in your life that Yvette is talking about and that we're honoring and shouting out in this moment, they are going to understand, and the answer will be yes, and you'll be so much lighter and so much further along because you asked specifically for what you wanted and what you needed in that moment. And that cannot
Mhm.
happen with any judgment.
Right.
Absolutely. What
Yeah,
about
I
you,
love
Shannon?
that. I love that. No, I don't have anything else, but yeah, I love that
Well,
point.
I want to leave this with you, Shannon, before I wrap up. I want you to understand and undo who you are because you're too good of a person to feel guilty about anything. Because I know that if you can do it, you will. But I also know that people will take advantage of people with your spirit. So I
Mhm.
need you to learn what I'm about to do. This wrap up is going to be just for you. Okay? You ready?
Thank you. Thank you.
Who do, we'll wrap up tonight's topic of who do I run to with this. In all that we do, it's imperative to take care of us. I often
Mm.
say we can't help anyone else if we're too burnt out to help ourselves. Of course, we want to be sure that our spouse, our children, parents, business partner, family, friends are good. That's human nature, but not at the cost of our own sanity. So if I turn around and there's no one there to help me, I'm going to simply lay there and rest. And if I can't help
Wow.
me, I'm certainly no good to anyone else. So, Shannon, I need you to learn the art of no. My people, that has kept me sane for the last 2 years and has now become my way of life. Get somebody else to do it. Say it without shame. Okay, Shannon, tomorrow we're going to count to three and we're going to all say, get somebody else to do it. Y'all ready?
Ah,
1, 2, 3. Get
Get
somebody
get
else to
somebody else
do
somebody
to
it.
else
do
to do
it.
it.
All
Okay.
right?
Love that.
That's my
Love
wrap
that.
up for tonight.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. All right, here we go to the sound off.
All right. This is the sound segment. This is where we announce a song related to tonight's topic. While also hoping to add to your musical playlist, we use songs from all categories and genres, and tonight's song is by Escape. Either one of you want to guess what the name of the
Mm.
song is? Who
Who
do I
do
run
I
to?
run to?
Y'all probably
To
guessed that
fill
early
this
on in the
empty
show, right?
space.
Sometimes I'm deep, y'all, and sometimes it just is what it is. And tonight it's just real simple, right? Now, that's an older R&B hit, but I'm sure most of you listeners are
Yeah.
familiar with Escape. Shannon, I don't have to ask you about that one. That's a
Yep.
no-brainer for you. That's when you was
You
running
know
around
I
getting
know
your
that one.
vocals on.
That's
Yeah, you was
right.
running around in them streets with them peeps. So, if you want to drop some
Yeah.
suggestions, Shannon, how did they become a part of our magical music fest?
All right. Any suggestions, any comments, please reach out to wifey and babymama at gmail.com. Once again, that is wifey and babymama at gmail.com.
All
All
right. Well,
right.
Tamara, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Yes,
so much for
Tamara.
having me. I always love talking to y'all. And this conversation was just like all the rest of them, literally felt like a kitchen table therapy session.
Yeah.
It's like, let's get it out, let's talk about it. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you,
Yes,
Vet.
yes.
Today's
Yes.
episode really hit home and we told the truth and nothing but the
That's
truth.
Mm-hmm.
it. And
So,
that's all we
Yeah,
deliver here, wife and baby mama. We hope that it helps. We're not always right, but we're gonna tell our truth, and that's just the bottom line.
right,
That's what we're here
bottom
right.
for.
line. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
All right. Until next week.
We love you all. Bye.
I'm